Okay, our task here, this is problem 7 from modules 24 to 28, is to compute the value of this building and to do 2 sets of journal entries. We need to do the journal entry for Southern Company, and we need to do the journal entry for Eastern Company. But that's really not the hard part. The hard part is figuring what the hell's going on here. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm an accountant. I work things out with my pencil. Now I'm going to start by just writing down what I know. Let's take a look here. We have Southern Company and we have Eastern Company. Okay, so there's our 2 companies. Southern Company owns a building that it leases to others. The building's fair value is $1,850,000. Fair value, $1,850,000. Then it tells us, let's see, the book value is $1,160,000, so that's historical cost minus accumulated depreciation. So the historical cost was $2,450,000. The accumulated depreciation is $1,290,000, and the book value is $1,160,000. That's Southern Company. Eastern Company has a building. We don't know the fair value. It doesn't really matter. Going through, they tell us the book value on their books is $1,310,000, and that's the result of an original cost of $2,050,000 less accumulated depreciation of $740,000. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, we're also told that Eastern Company is going to send a bag of cash. See, there's my bag of cash with $185,000 to Southern Company. So the basic rule here is what you get is worth what you gave up. And since this is deemed to have commercial substance, in other words, these buildings will have different earning purposes afterwards. Maybe one was a factory and the other is going to become an apartment building. Completely different earning cycles. If that's the case, it has commercial substance, which you and I know means sale and gain or loss. Okay, so we see what we have here. So now let's go through and figure out our journal entries. A couple things you need to understand is, first of all, there's a wall between these companies. So we're going to come up with 2 different journal entries, and they're going to be for 2 different amounts in total, even though they're for the same transaction. And I know that sounds goofy, but it's true. So let's do Southern Company first. Okay, so we're going to do Southern Company, and this is their journal entry. So Southern journal entry. Well, let's start with the easy stuff. They got cash, so we got that. So we're going to debit cash. They also got a building. The building has a total fair value of $1,850,000. The building that's going to come on, the total transaction is going to equal $1,850,000. we've already accounted for $185,000 of it in cash. So the building, what's left is $1,665,000. And if you total those together, you'll find that that does indeed come up to the $1,850,000. Okay? Now, what else did we get rid of? Well, we got rid of the accumulated depreciation, so we have to debit that for $1,290,000. We also got rid of the old building. We have to credit the building, credit the old building for $2,450,000. And now we have to see if our journal entry balances. It doesn't. Okay. This side is $690,000 more than this side, so that's a credit of a gain on the disposition of the asset with commercial substance for $690,000. Okay, so let's fill that in for Southern. Just going to copy my numbers over. My cash is $185,000. My building is $1,665,000. My cumulative depreciation is $1,290,000. My old building that I'm crediting is $2,450,000. And my gain, $690,000. That was the hard part. You had to remember that the total value of that building was $1,850,000. If you got $185,000 in cash, the rest was the value of the building. So that's the first part. That's Southern's part of the deal. Now let's do Eastern's part of the deal. And Eastern's part of the deal will be a completely different set of numbers. That's okay. These are two separate companies. Okay? It's possible for both companies to recognize a gain. It's possible for both companies to recognize a loss. It's not a zero-sum game because these are completely different companies. And because they're completely different companies, they will have different amounts. Okay, so let's take a look at Eastern. Well, Eastern got a building, and we know the building they got is $1,850,000. That's the fair value of what they got. What they gave up, they got rid of their $740,000 of accumulated depreciation. They gave up $185,000 in cash. They gave up their old building, which had a historical cost of $2,050,000. And if you add those up, you'll see that again, this doesn't balance. This side is $355,000 light, so they have a gain of $355,000. The totals don't match. They don't have to match. They're not supposed to match. These are two separate companies. By far, the most difficult, or the more difficult, is the first part. But I would argue that really the hardest part of this problem is that piece, figuring out just what the hell's going on. Southern, Eastern, give, got, whatever. Sketch it out. Draw yourself a picture. Then go make your decisions and do it.